Before I get started with this commentary, let me give a shout out to Trill, Texas for sending it to me, and it is coming out of Chicago. The article that I'm going to read from is from chicago.cbslocal.com, and it was posted December 10th, 2021. And this story right here is actually going to involve this woman that you see in the picture, whose name is Latasha Taylor, and she is a restaurant owner. And Chase Bank, who I've heard some stories about them, Chase Bank took $28,000 from her business account because of someone else's court order. Someone had a court order against this woman for whatever reason it may have been, and I think we know what it is. And Chase Bank just went into this woman's account, into her business account, and took $28,000 out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and read the article and see what else we can learn. Every penny counts these days for local businesses, so imagine the shock of a Chatham restaurant owner when she learned her bank transferred $28,000 out of her company account. Latasha Taylor has spent the last 2 months trying to get it back with no success. CBS 2's Marie Saavedra reported Thursday night on Taylor's efforts to fix it and find a new bank. Taylor's restaurant Flamin' at 641 East 75th Street is in its 5th year of serving favorites. Mustard, catfish, and macaroni and cheese, shrimp and grits, and our famous red salmon croquettes. This is making me hungry, by the way, are among the offerings, Taylor said. Surviving the last 2 years has been work, and it's what Taylor was doing 2 months ago, working when her financial world was rocked. On October 12th, I went online, as I do every day, to pay some vendors. And when I looked, it said both of my accounts were frozen. Taylor said her business checking and savings accounts with Chase were on hold. She called and found it was due to a court order she knew nothing about. So when I looked at the court order, I said, this must not be me. This is not my company. This is not my social. This is not my tax ID number. The court order in question is a judgment out of the Supreme Court of the state of New York in Brooklyn. It is against a Northbrook company and a Chicago woman who was not Taylor, warning $27,385 plus interest was owed. So this is something for someone completely different out of another state. And I could be reading that second part a little bit wrong. And it's not her. So they just went in and took money out of her account and didn't check to see if that was the right person. And I bet you somehow, some way, it's going to fall directly onto her shoulders. The judgment was issued on October 6th in Brooklyn Supreme Court, which in New York is a county-level trial court rather than the state's highest court. It cited a specific account number. It wasn't my checking account number, but it was my savings account number at the bottom of the page, Taylor said. Taylor says Chase Bank employees told her on the phone call that they would fix it, but that never happened. The hold was taken off my account, but there was a debit for $28,891.01. Taylor then took on another full-time job in the form of calling Chase nonstop to get the money back. But what she heard changed. The bank told her and us in a statement, there was no Chase error. We obeyed a court order and properly processed a payout as directed in this King County out in New York Supreme Court case. This is a legal matter, and we told Ms. Taylor that she must address it directly with the creditor. That is the policy on Chase's deposit account agreement, but all Taylor cares about is another week without $28,000. I feel like everybody who works for me, their family situation and financial situation is in my hands, Taylor said. What do I do as an owner, a small black business owner just trying to survive? Until she figures that out, she's finding another bank. This is a very unhappy situation, and we're looking to find a financial institution that's worthy of putting our money in and keeping our money safe, Taylor said. Taylor has hired an attorney to work with the creditors in that New York State case to get her money back, which means she's paying out of pocket to get thousands of her own dollars. That is absolutely insane. That is wild. I could not imagine being in that type of a nightmare. And that's exactly what she's dealing with right here, is a complete and utter nightmare. Imagine she is like running a good business and everything like that, and everything's going good, only to wake up one day and you check your accounts and it says that it's frozen and this is what's going on and something like that. Usually whenever your accounts are frozen, you know, that just means someone was tampering with it and you got to call the bank and see what's going on, especially if you're not the one that authorized the freeze. And so they just took 20. So this is an error on Chase Bank's part, but they're going to act like it's her fault. So this woman is out of $28,000 and she's scrambling to get it back, and they're acting like they can't do anything. So now she has to get it back on her own. That is why. And then not only worry about getting it back on her own, but she has to worry about paying her employees. Like, that was dipping into the money she was using to pay her workers. I couldn't even imagine what that's like. And this kind of stuff happens all the time when it comes to black businesses or black owned businesses, especially if the business is relatively small and not like a chain or anything like that. But I feel bad for her. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's something that she shouldn't have to deal with. The only thing she has to deal with is just the stuff that she deals with on a regular routine day. And this all started back in early October, and here we are about halfway through December. So she's been fighting tooth and nail about this for over 2 months to get her money back. Because $28,000, that's a lot of money. Well, of course, if you're wealthy, that's nothing to you. But you know what I mean? To the average everyday person, that's a lot of money. It's not like she lost $28 or $280 or $2,800. And even then, that's still a problem, because that's your money and you're trying to figure out where it is and why it's not where it's supposed to be. If I didn't touch it, like, where is it? But I hope that she's able to pull through with this, because, you know, like I said, this happens so often with a lot of small businesses, especially a lot of small black businesses. They like to try to take advantage and try to get over. It just sounds to me like it's some kind of an extortion thing. I'm not sure, but it's just puzzling. That's why a lot of people don't trust banks nowadays as it is. But the thing is, they find a way to loophole you into getting with the bank, because a lot of the times that you are trying to do something, especially when it comes to business purposes, you have to have a bank account of some kind or a business account of some kind that involves the banks. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this story down in the comments.